Hey loggers, I want to thank you for your support so far. Together we can build a wonderful community and expand this creepy universe even further. Help me reach 500 subscribers. Something very big is coming. Now without further ado, when we reach 500, the next door opens. What waits beyond is something I can't face alone. Join the logs. Stay aware. Stay afraid. Let's dive into today's story. They call it the Red Acre. It's not on any map. The locals pretend it isn't there. Even the drones from the surveying company can't get a clean shot. The footage always glitches, freezes, or cuts to static when the camera pans over that part of the farmland. It's just a flat, dry field behind 3 rusted wire fences. But the corn there never grows past a child's height. And it always dyes red. I was assigned to the Millworth Agricultural Survey Team 3 months ago, part of a soil study initiative in southern Nebraska. Most of the job was routine: sample soil, log moisture, scan crop health. Easy. Forgettable. But on my 3rd week, I found a gate. Not a normal one. This one was handmade, lashed with brittle rope and hammered into the middle of an otherwise empty plain. No signs, no locks, just a crude symbol scratched into the wood. A circle split by a vertical line. Looked like an eye that forgot how to blink. Something about it made my hands sweat. I asked the landowner about it. A man named Daryl Gents. Thin, leather-faced. A stare that never quite landed where you were. He went quiet, then said, "Don't sample past that gate. That land's already been eaten." I laughed. He didn't. I went back anyway. Stupid curiosity, boredom, maybe something deeper. There was no road. Just a narrow footpath, barely there, winding through brush like it didn't want to be followed. The sky changed as I got closer. Grayer. Not cloudy, just dim, like the sun didn't care to shine there. And the corn. It wasn't right. Short, yes, but not immature. Each stalk had grown to a point and then stopped, frozen in place, like something had whispered to them to hold still. The color was wrong too. A dry, sick red. Not blood. Not rust. Something else. Almost internal. I didn't stay long, just long enough to take a sample and notice the scarecrows. 3 of them spread evenly across the acre, except they weren't made of straw. They were pale, too pale, with hands, and their mouths were open, like they were trying to scream, but had long since forgotten how. That night, I woke up to the sound of knocking, not on my door, on the windows, all of them, 3 slow knocks each time. I live alone. I didn't look outside. The next morning, the soil sample from the Red Acre was gone from my desk. In its place was a single stalk of corn, red, bent, rootless, still wet. I went went to report it, but the office was closed on a weekday. I called the lead. No answer. So I drove back to the Red Acre. This time, the gate was open. The corn had grown. Overnight, it was now above my head, 7 feet at least, and thick, swollen. Too much for a single night. And the paths had changed. The scarecrows were gone. I don't remember how I got back to my car. I only remember this. As I left the field, I turned around for one last look. And between the rows, perfectly still, stood something tall, thin, wrapped in red silk, trailing through the corn like old blood. Its head was wrong, too smooth, like it had no face, and its arms were long enough to drag against the ground. It didn't move, but I knew it watched me leave, and I knew it would remember. I tried to quit. They told me no such field existed, told me there was no Darrell Gents. The parcel I visited was marked as barren, unassigned. I looked it up later. It's been unassigned since 1971, when 3 surveyors went missing, and all they found were their boots, standing upright in red corn. I moved out of state last week, haven't spoken a word of it since. But 2 nights ago I woke to the smell of dried corn and 3 knocks on my window. Absolutely, here's part 2 and the conclusion of where the corn dies. The entity from the Red Acre follows, and the illusion of distance begins to fall apart. This is final, quiet horror, not about survival, but acceptance of something ancient that remembers you. The knocks came again last night. 3. Slow, deliberate. Not on the front door. This time, on the closet. I don't remember falling asleep. I only remember waking up with dirt in my sheets. Dry, cracked bits of red stalk tangled in the folds of the blanket. My feet were dirty, as if I'd walked barefoot through the fields again, even though I haven't left this apartment in days. I tried burning the stalk from before. It didn't catch. It just sat in the flames, sweating like something alive. Today I saw him again, not fully. Just hints in the reflection of a passing bus window, in the shimmer of a puddle, a figure, tall and still, bent at the shoulders like he'd grown too fast for his bones to keep up, wrapped in red silk that didn't touch the ground. It hovered slightly, like wind held it in place. Every time I blinked, he was closer, and always watching. I called my old supervisor one last time. A woman picked up. She didn't speak at first. Then she said, "You stepped inside, didn't you?" I didn't respond. "You shouldn't have taken the corn," she whispered. "It only grows when it's ready to feed." Click. It's growing here now, in my kitchen. Thin, red stalks pushing up between the floorboards, curling toward the light. No seeds, no roots, just appearing. I tried cutting one. It bled. And inside the cut was something black, pulsing. A rhythm I could hear in my head long after the stalk stopped twitching. I know now what he is. He's not death. He's what comes after harvest. He's the thing the field belongs to. The reason it doesn't need a scarecrow anymore, because he walks the rows himself, calling, knocking, growing things inside the ones who saw him. I don't know what happens when he arrives fully, but tonight I looked in the mirror, and for a second, my mouth moved out of sync with my thoughts. I whispered something. It wasn't English. And I felt corn silk behind my teeth. The knocks just started again. Not on the door. Not on the walls. Inside the closet. 3. Then silence. I'm not going to run this time. I'm going to open it. Because the corn doesn't stop growing. It just waits to be seen. And tonight, I think he's hungry.